Oh, look at that. We're live. This is great. Episode 64. We made it. We made it, my folks. I am very impressed with myself. Let me just tell you something because episode 64, that's enough. It's just that alone. Long form podcast type show that has actually lasted a little bit. I am happy to announce today, I will announce it, that I am connected with an affiliate, Sabada Boobity Boobs, and giving away to anybody who wants it, literally, 5 days, 5 nights, Cancun, up to 18 months to use it, $269. If you want more information, DM me or look on my social media. It's all over the place. But if you want more information, you can also go to the website experience-cancun.com. I will put up a link for that here in a moment. But this is episode 64. And today, my friends, have I got like a fun, awesome, cool, this is going to be exciting. I'm excited to hear about this and find out more about it. I bring to you today the Queen of Light, as she names herself, an advanced quantum healing practitioner. I'm going to say that again. An advanced quantum healing practitioner. Now, what that means, I'm going to find out. So are you. But more so than that, she uses neuro-linguistic programming. She was trained by the founder, Dick Harbers. And I want to find out more. So before I even go any further, before I scoopity scoops and blah, blah, blahs, I'm just going to bring her on. Her name is Agnes, but it's Agne. And I tried to do her last name earlier. Not going to try and do it again. But let's bring her on. Agnes, how you doing today? And I hope you're having a beautiful day. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much for inviting me on this show. It's lovely. My name is Agne. Agne Paceviciute. That's like to practice for everybody if you wish. Some Lithuanian language. That's where I
Yeah, let's try it again. It's Agne, what is it?
Paceviciute.
Paceviciute.
Oh yeah, you're doing really well. Yeah.
I'm gonna take it. I got the practice just between you and me. I got the practice. Yeah. Okay, so Agne, the way that I usually do this whole little thing is I say, hey, Agne, where are you from? What are you about? And what do you do? We're totally interested, so please let us know.
All right. So like I already mentioned, the Lithuanian language, I'm originally from Lithuania, but I've been living in Sweden for a while. That's where I'm based. So in Europe. What I do now, like you said, advanced quantum healing, and I learned this new method from the founder a couple of years ago. Prior to that, I was very much lost in life. I, explored different things and was searching for my purpose. I studied biomedical science, so I have that background of logic and understanding and so on and so on. But I never applied that really in a practical sense. And just going through life, bumping into different things, really, I just discovered my true mission and true purpose through quantum healing. And that's how my kind of all future plans are opening up through this space.
So let's go way back. I like to do like a deep dive on someone's and their life, and you mentioned some things, like you said you bounced from this to that, but let's go way back. So where were you born originally?
I was born in Lithuania, very tiny country. When I was born, it was still part of Soviet Union. So I've grown up in that environment where nothing is enough, where even if you have money, you can't buy anything. A lot of limiting programming there in many areas, and limiting thinking, what's allowed, what's not allowed, what's okay, what's not okay. It's very different from how people see the world in the US, obviously. yeah, but I always believe that the journey we are going through is necessary for us to grow and become who we really need to be, after all. So grateful for those challenges along the way. Yeah, and like I said, I was struggling through life in many ways. I was having very negative self view through life, probably based on the environment. I suppressed all my intuitive abilities, or felt like I don't fit in, I don't belong here, I don't know what's wrong with me. And at some point I was like, I can't live like that, right? And I need to figure out if there is something wrong, I need to fix it and understand how I fit in this world, and why am I different than others, because that was like a driving thought behind it. Yeah, and when I started exploring the psychology and all the self-help books and courses and trainings, I started understanding that maybe nothing is wrong with me. Maybe I am wired a little bit differently, more sensitive to everything, and kind of feel and perceive what people feel and think. So that learning took me quite a while. And just like 4 years ago, I think I experienced that very intense shift. Um, I was exploring to become a RTT practitioner. I don't know if you're familiar. It's also hypnotherapy. And I to just test it out, what it means and how it works.
Yeah, what
I
was that
went
exactly you said? RDTT?
RTT, Rapid Transformational Therapy by Marissa Peers.
Oh, okay, sure. Okay, sure.
Yeah. So I just went for a session of RTT with a local practitioner. And after 2 hours hypnosis for the first of my life, I came out as if the world changed for me. Colors were brighter, all the sensations more intense, like unconditional love for life. It was such a big contrast to everything that I've been experiencing before that. And I'm like, if this is possible, if I can reach that point, it means anybody else can as well. I just need to find the tool, the way to get them there, to experience that spiritual awakening and that unconditional love flowing through the system.
Mhm.
So that was a beautiful journey. And I had that intention to find the tool, because somehow hypnotherapy didn't feel exactly that.
Mm.
And yeah, and through a line of beautiful synchronicities, a couple of months later, from that experience, I met Dick Harbers, who eventually became my mentor and trained me in this process.
So did you obviously had sessions with Dick Harbers, obviously.
Oh yes,
Okay.
yeah.
And
So
so, because I have a friend of mine who was in Jerusalem, and he was doing hypnosis under a very, very similar, not at all what you're talking about, but a very similar kind of access to um, past lives and other realms and so on and so forth. That he was very deep into that for a minute, and as a matter of fact, since he's now in Sfat, which is the northern part of Israel, and he does a lot of hypnotherapy for other people. So it actually came into his life in a way where it changed his, and it became so dynamic that it changed. He helped start changing others. Um, let's. What I wanted to find out, and because you kind of slipped on me, and I don't mind. But you said you were born in Lithuania. You had a different type of mindset that was forced upon you on some level that was very much kind of negative mindset, if you will. Um, a mindset that is one in which you are believing that you cannot accomplish because that's what everybody else believes.
Right.
And I've noticed this as I created my website and the thing that I've been doing in Cancun recently. I've seen that when I'm in another place and I talk about all these things that I'm doing, the people there are like, oh, why are you doing it? I'm like, well, because nobody else is doing it. So that I figured I would do it, you know? And so it's just, it's funny that way on some level, you know what I mean? Like how it's just a mindset. Like I met a kid who was on the street one day, just randomly, and he's all depressed, and we start talking, and I said to him, you know, like, where are you at? He goes, well, you know, unfortunately, I'm seeing everything as a problem. And I said, well, that's probably why things aren't working for you very well. I said, you should see everything as a, what did I tell him?
Possibility.
Not as a possibility, but as a, like a feat of engineering, like a product, like a something that you can work with, that depending upon how you work with this thing, this fidget, this thing, whatever it is, depending upon how you work with it and how you make it work. For instance, we're talking about a fidget spinner, that if you just put it on the ground and do this, it may not work. But if you pick it up and do this, it may work. And then you might be able to learn how to maybe throw it up in the air and catch it on a finger. I don't know where I'm going with that, you know, but the idea is that depending upon how you interact with it is how, instead of seeing it as a problem, like, oh, there's this thing and there's this fidget spinner and I don't know what it is and I don't know why they're around and I don't know this and I don't know that and blah, blah, blah. You're instead coming at it from a totally different point of view. And when I said this to him, and the way that I was speaking Spanish, so I remember the word exactly that I said, but when I said that, I could see the click happen inside of him where he's like, so I'm like, don't look at anything in your life this way anymore. Instead, look at it like this. And he was just like, oh, okay. And I was like, and I think that that's what you're doing to yourself. By doing that, that's what is the issue and the problem, you know? And so, yeah, so nonetheless, it was just a little tidbit to throw in there to talk about what you're talking about. But my question really lies in when you were younger and you moved away from Lithuania, you know, as you're growing up, let's say your teenage years now, where are you at that point? Or are you moving around and bouncing around a lot as a young adult?
So teenage years, like, you know, I spent most of my time in Lithuania, really, up till I finished my master's degree in university. And I was going through that, you know, trying to kind of follow the standard, you know, go learn, study well, go to university, get a degree, get a good job. And like, so fighting myself internally, but following that because I didn't know anything else at that point. And yes, I was, you know, because of that inner doubt, I didn't trust my intuition. So even the studies were a struggle because, like, I random test in university, I would kind of know the answer, but I didn't trust myself knowing that. And I choose something else, and I was failing and failing and failing through that. I mean, I achieved the degree, right? So lucky me, but really the process was a struggle. And I can only reflect on that right now because understanding the psychology and why this was happening. But being that situation, it wasn't fun. I didn't see another perspective back then.
Yeah, I mean that there's something that I always talk about where I say where if it's meant to be, it's going to be easy. And that doesn't mean there's not work behind it. That doesn't mean that there's not, but it just that the flow, the transition from person to person, the way that you meet people, and then that connects you to somebody else, and then connects you to somebody else, and there's this beautiful flow of the river, if you will, of life.
Oh,
That
yes.
it's not. It's sure you may be a salmon swimming upstream. Yeah, that might be part of the process, but it's this process where you understand the swimming, you understand the jumping, you understand why, and so therefore it becomes easy, if that
Yeah.
makes sense in what I'm trying to say. And so I totally understand what you're saying when you're in a state where you're not following your energy, your source, your connection, your light, your gift, your whatever you want to call it.
Right.
So I guess this leads me now to I guess you're out of college, you're now 20 something years old, and this is where I guess you start saying that you start bouncing from thing to thing, trying to find the right fit for you, if you will.
Yeah. So straight after I finished university, I moved to Sweden. Relationship took me there. So that was the move that happened, and in a new space, different environments, without knowing the language, without knowing the system, that was another level of struggle, to find my way. Even though I had the education, it wasn't really fitting in that space without other elements. So I just, tried random jobs to survive in that space, and later tried some businesses, to the point I was growing microgreens and selling to the restaurants, like completely different.
It's a great business. From what I've heard, that's a phenomenal business if done correctly. You can make some really stupid money.
Right. And it was to some level effective until COVID came and all the restaurants shut down, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And there was no way to pivot with that and go straight to a consumer based kind of idea. I don't know. This is me just like immediately like, oh wait, pivot. No.
I think that unfolded in the perfect way for me, because that was exactly the period I was experiencing that spiritual awakening. And because of COVID, my mentor, Dick Harbers, came into online space. Up till that point, he was just working face to face with people.
Wow.
He was not teaching anybody his process, and because of the world situation, he came online. And like few weeks later, I mean, I will tell you a crazy story how I met him. If
Please,
okay.
yeah, we have all the time in the world. We just started. We're only 20 minutes in, so we're good.
Yeah, that's a magical story, really. I love to reflect on that, because when I was going through that spiritual awakening after hypnotherapy, exploring, receiving information out of the blue seemed like, I would have a question, and I'm like, the answer would come either through a random YouTube video or Facebook post or some message somebody sent me. I was like, I felt that spiritual guidance on my journey, step by step. And that period, I started journaling everything, almost like registering the experiences for me to kind of prove that spiritual guidance is real and I'm being guided, right? Because I needed to believe that myself, in the contrast that I didn't believe so far. And as I was journaling daily experiences, at some point I'm like, I need to write a book, because this is so much, this is so good. I don't know how it will play out, but I need to write a book. And the only thing I knew about the book, that I have to call the book Journey Back to Self. I knew that name was like significant, and that's like whatever I share should kind of represent that message. And still that time, I didn't feel that I know who I am, because that was my main problem through years, decades. I don't know who I am. I don't know what's my purpose in life. And it was also a driver for me to move forward. So I would type, kind of describing who the book is for. This is the book for people who are searching for their purpose, trying to find their path in life. And hello, my name is Agne. Let me introduce myself. And I didn't know what to type after all. So that was like, again, a struggle a little bit. But one time, randomly, the thought came that I am a self-alignment coach. And it felt so right, like out of the blue. Continuing the story, somebody sent me the friend request on Facebook, right? And back then I wasn't very exposed to people. Like I would be very careful with who I invite as a friend. And it seemed like the person was okay, some kind of coach, and I accepted his friend request. Only the next day to see the message that they have accepted my friend request. And I could swear that something is wrong here. And I was very certain that he invited me first. But having, you know, having going through those experiences, it's like you become suspicious that something is there. And, the universe is working on something. I checked the person's profile, and he just back then published a book like a month ago with exactly the same name, Journey Back to Self. And my first reaction was like, oh my God, I missed out. Somebody wrote my book.
Wow.
And
So
then,
wow already.
yeah, that's not it. I reached out to the person. We had a chat. I shared my experiences. Over time, I bought a book. As I'm reading the introduction, I'm in tears because it's like exactly the message I wanted to deliver. Not word by word, but the energy is like the same, very much in alignment. And I realized like the book was written and I didn't need to do the job. I just changed that perception, which was really amazing. And he had a mastermind group for the journey back to self.
Want to
And
ask you a question? Sorry, didn't mean to stop you there, but when you said I had a beautiful mindset change where I didn't have to write the book, it was already done, and that was beautiful for me. That hit home for me on a lot of levels. So, if you wouldn't mind, could you kind of explain what you mean there?
yeah, so see, because I was like on that journey trying to find myself and be significant somehow, do something that is important in life. And even that book that was coming from my soul really was already written. So the first response was like very disappointing. But realizing that if I am tapping into those thoughts and ideas from the quantum field, if you like, there are other people tapping into that same information. And it doesn't matter how this information comes to the world, whether it's through me or through another person, as long as it is reaching the people it needs to reach, that's done, right? That's all that matters, really. Um, yeah. So that was
So
a
that's
beautiful.
so this is so who sorry, I don't mean sorry, I didn't mean to do that again. Who was the writer of the book? Was this Dick Harbor?
No, it was not. It was Darren Timms.
Okay.
You can look it up, the book, if you like. But he had a mastermind group on Facebook. Basically, different people sharing their ideas and thoughts about the book or in relation to the what's written there, right? And
Mhm.
somebody posted a long post in that group about rapid eye movement and how our eyes are connected to the brain, and how our eye movement means which part of the brain is being accessed to get to the information, and how we need to process it, and all the practicality, right? The system of our like human operating system, how it works.
Mhm.
And for me, that was like aha moment. If this is possible, if we can change our way of thinking and behavior, uh, it's magic. I need to learn about that. And this was Dick Harbers that shared that post, and I reached out to him. And right away he answered my message, and we had like 2 hours conversation about all things.
Wow.
Yeah.
How cool. How absolutely cool that he took the time. So,
Yeah.
so this, I'm guessing this was the book, right? This is
Mhm.
Darren Timms, as you said, The
Right.
Journey Back to Self,
Exactly.
a
Yeah.
roadmap of discovery. So this is what really got you to connect through Darren Timms.
Yeah.
You then see this thing, and you're like, "Oh my god!"
Yeah.
And then you see, you after Darren Timms, and you realize, man, I'm connecting to something. I don't know what. My soul is reaching out. I'm getting answers from the universe. This is very much the Celestine prophecy, but in my own life kind of story, right? I mean, very
Yeah.
much what you're talking about seems very much like the Celestine prophecy. For those who haven't read it, please read that and the 10th Insight, two great books. For those on the beginning of the journey of seeing, you know, the interconnectedness of everything that is, like the intensity of it. And there was a friend of mine made a post recently, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to find it if I go to Facebook right now, but he said something, and it was just so beautiful because he's talking about what was I telling you about? He's talking about a decision that he made, and then the secondary like thoughts that goes in his mind of all of the interactions and possibilities that could happen based on his one choice. And he says to himself at the end of this long rant, which I thought was beautiful, you know, because I was like, dude, I think like that all the time. And he's like, I can't believe people don't think like this more often, or don't think about this more often. And then, so somebody's come in here and they've left a very long comment. We're going to try and put it in. Let's see. It says, hello, sorry for bothering you. I want to offer promotion of your channel, viewers, followers, chatbots, etc. The price is lower than, I don't know who this is, but I'm liking that he's coming in. I'm full on giving him a free ad right now. Lower than the competitor. The quality is guaranteed to be the best. Flexible and convenient. Order management panel, chat panel, everything is in your hand. Turn it off and on. Customize. Go to stream-rise.com. You owe me money, bro. This guy owes me money. I just did a full commercial for him. All right. Whoever you are, you owe me money. As a matter of fact, let's take a small break. 2 seconds of breakage. I'm gonna promote my thing real quick. Let's do this. I'm gonna promote my thing. How about that? How about some of that? How about some of that stuff? Talk about promoting stuff. I am offering. Where is it? Is it here? No, it's this one. Yeah, I'm doing this one right here. Boop. Here, look at this. Here, let me show you this, guys. Hey, look at this. This is an awesome. Well, I don't want to show the picture of my website. Go back. Go back. Here it is, guys. Look, this awesome. Grab your own 3 nights, up to 7 nights. But I want you to do the 5 nights, 5 days in Cancun for only $269. The reason I want you to do that is because it's the best deal that there is. If you want information, you click on the link and it goes to my website. Oh my goodness, how beautiful. Oh wow. Ooh. And right here, it's like, boom, you won. All you have to do is pay $100 for the concierge service, and then that links you to the company, and you pay $196.60, and you have 18 months to do this. You must be 21 years old or over, and that's my commercial. I'm done. Okay, moving on.
That's lovely.
Yeah, I don't know. You know, you got to throw in commercials, try to make some money along the way with these things called podcasts. Oh, look, we have another comment here from somebody who's not trying to sell something. And this is Brandy and I, who got us together. She says, yay, 2 of my favorite humans. I love her so much. She's actually, we've been talking over the last couple of years about her doing a course, and we put together a whole bunch of things for her, and she got really excited, and then she started moving forward, and I don't know where she is now. Haven't spoken to her, as I've been super busy the last couple of months, which doesn't mean that you can't pick up the phone and call me because I'll answer. But I have been super busy the last couple of months with this project that I've been doing, and anybody who wants in on this deal, like, tell your friends. The link is on my Facebook, and also it's on experience-cancun.com, which I should show everybody, because if you don't know about it, you know about it. I'm not going to show you. Let's get back to Agne. So here, my dear, is my. You're now taking courses online from the guy who creates the idea of quantum healing. And it does some major things for you in your life. Let's go through that portion, and then let's move into where you're, kind of where you're at and where you're going here in a bit. But let's go to that now, if you don't mind.
Yeah, and so Dick Harbers was really a simple person. When I met him, like, he wasn't that advanced online coach or practitioner that was like bragging on social media about his work. He was always just like giving value, providing the advice, and guiding people through really transformational experiences. At the beginning, when I met him, like, I was going through the list of his transcripts, like description and stories about his clients and how things shifted. My eyes were just getting bigger and bigger. I'm like, if this is possible, this is exactly the tool I've been looking for to guide people towards their spiritual awakening. And I went through his main program, 5 sessions. Maybe it's a good time to describe that. It's like setting your system up. I didn't know what I was getting to, but the experience really shifted me so much in many ways. We activated some internal resources like healing abilities, the intuition, trust, forgiveness, and similar. That reprograms the whole system, really. I mentioned the eye map and how our eye movement is showing which part of the brain is being accessed. This is how our system is processing the data, storing the information, or bypassing some elements, between conscious and subconscious mind. We really rewired the brain. My internal dialogue that was really negative for a while shifted, and I was like, no longer into that judgmental attitude towards myself or others. My overthinking stopped. I could sleep, just go to bed and sleep without replaying different scenarios in my head. We did a timeline shift. So the way my brain codes the time, so past, present, and the future, releasing a lot of past memories or worries about the future out of the body or energy field into the timelines, aligning the chakras and really experiencing that spiritual connection to source energy. That was like transformational experience for me, and I knew that if I can learn this and guide people through that shift, the world will be a better place, really. And so, yeah, I wanted to ask something.
Yeah, you're so great. I love you. You saw it. Yeah. So, how long does it usually take for someone to do a session, or there's so many questions, right? I guess, how long does it take for you to, quote unquote, cure someone or help someone with their thing? Can it be a one session and boom, there's just an explosion? Or does it, because of the process that you've learned, does it take a building of the person through steps until they get to a new resilience, and then a flourishing occurs?
Well, to answer this correctly, there is a possibility of one session transformation, yes, and I've seen that. But the biggest effect happens when the system is set up. So it's a build up of the processes that I guide people through, and then I can use all my tools to shift the experience. And what I'm talking about is really this affects people in different ways in different areas. I had a client who had cancer, and going through these 5 steps and additional session specifically for cancer, in a week's time, the parameters dropped from 211 to 32. So that was a big jump, so to speak, into the positive side. And yeah, by now, a few months later, he's in remission, right? Other people had different results. If in business, the business improved, relationship shifted. There are so many areas that quantum healing can be applied, and as you know, everything is connected. Our thoughts create the reality. Unprocessed emotions are blocking the energy. When you kind of put the system in alignment, a lot of things in our reality is shifting.
So we have a comment here from Brandy. She says the IMAP system is amazing for shifting not only the vagus nerve into alignment, but it literally gives you left and right brain the chance to merge together in such a beautiful quantum way. The shifts are instant. The way Agne uses the session is highly effective, even just through one session. So she is giving you praise like crazy, obviously. So my next question for you is, how much are your sessions? Do you have a sliding scale for people who are broke? Would you do a, hey, I'm broke now and my quantum stuff is all poopy, but if obviously you do some stuff on my quantum poopy and it's now clean, I can then pay you after my quantum poopy is dirty. It's clean. Now I can give you money because I have no dirty poopy. You see what I'm saying?
That's a perfect way of putting it.
So my question is, would you do that? Would you be willing to do a session with somebody that way, or something to that effect?
Yeah, see, my main mission is to support people, so I do accommodate special cases in different situations. Yes, and right now, for example, planning to, or I'm organizing the practitioners training, so I will be teaching other people how to do that, and it is 1-year program, but I start with that 5-session experience, and I will be doing that in a group, and it's easier to accommodate people in the group who can't fully afford that. Yeah. You asked about the price. The 5-session structure in a group would cost $997 at the moment. But like I said, I'm willing to be flexible, and it's just about a discussion, with every individual. Yeah. And you are muted. You are on mute. I don't hear you, Paul.
That shows you what's going on. I'm like doing a million things all over the place, trying to run around, delete comments from people who are crazy, and
All right.
block them from the page while I'm trying to also, run around here. There's dogs everywhere. It's good. It's good. And then Brandy comes back with her comment. She's like, "Yep, sound is back, Paul. You were there blocking yourself from us hearing your beautiful voice." So my next question for you is, how did you come to the price? Because what we're talking about here is something that is, and here's where I'm going to turn into a devil's advocate kind of character, and I'm not trying to be disrespectful towards you or towards your business or anything like that. I'm doing it more now, almost like it's a business coach, marketing guy, like in the same way when I talk about my 269 thing, when like $269 for 5 days and 5 nights. How is that, Paul? You still have to pay for the resort fees and the taxes, and you still have to pay obviously for your airfare and transportation. And if it's a all-inclusive resort, then of course the prices go up as far as how much you're paying per day, because you're getting full food and full blah 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 and blah 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 blah. But if you take one of these like hotel versions and you're only getting breakfast in the morning, you're only paying like $30-something or something plus the taxes, which at the end of the thing is like $100-something. Super cheap. 5 days for 2 people altogether, with $100 of the concierge service, which is me, $169 to the company itself, and then another 100 and whatever dollars, 175, let's say, to the resort that you stay at. That's not a bad deal.
That's not good.
And you get to choose. You get to choose from like I think like I don't know. I think it's anywhere from 2 to 5 different resorts in each location that there are, and you don't have to go to Cancun. There's also places in Playa del Carmen and Tulum and all over the area. Nonetheless, that's that. I think it's a good deal. Is what I'm saying. Anyways, but the point to the next point I'm asking, yeah. So how did you get to the price of something that is so like altering? Like you could put a $10,000 price on this thing, and it could easily fly. If let's say you could go to like some business guy, right, who's already like. I make $50,000 a month in my business, but I don't know how to grow it. And you're like, quantum healing, blah, 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 blah. And then he's like, oh my God, I'm a 6-figure guy every month now, and I don't know what I'm doing. If you could create that kind of change in someone's life, then this barter system for like $10,000 is nothing.
True. You see, so I worked with different people. I've seen what is possible to create in their lives. I know that the value is so much more that I'm charging.
Sure,
but
which is why I asked. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I wasn't trying to be rude. I was like, okay, but how did you get to that price? Where you could do it for $250 since you're doing it so low at this point. And then, do you have a price that's more of a one-on-one price? Where it's like, hey, I just want you and me. I don't want 20 people in the room to hear my weird stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, so I do work one-on-one, and then I usually discuss that individually, depending on their situations. I have a package of 3 months program, and that is more expensive. I charge $3,997 for the 3 months package.
So it's basically, but you're still at $1,000 a month because you're still back at that same price. So now my question for you, and this is me as a coach asking you questions as a coach, and I'm not trying to make you uncomfortable or anything like that. Why are you not charging an exuberant amount of money for this? And then also possibly like you're doing the group sessions at a much lower rate, but maybe only a one-time thing, if that makes sense.
It does make sense, and I've been advised to charge more and all that. The reason why, for me, really, my mission is to reach more people and to spread this powerful tool. Is a new modality. Nobody else is using that fully the way I am using, except a couple of people that I trained so far. And my mission is to work with coaches and healers who are already have done a lot of inner work and who still need that support, because we all need that support. I myself am working with several healers, right? So my mission is to help those core people who will spread that information or the processes and can support more people to create that ripple effect. I want this to be affordable and accessible And my big vision of this really, some people will niche down and kind of narrow their niches. Some will work with health conditions, some will work with relationships, some will teach kids how to become aware of their thoughts and emotions and how to shift their perception, because all the limiting programming that is pushed through the school system is just messing them up. So I
100%.
just see this
Totally agree.
as a process of shifting the collective paradigm. And it's not about the money, really. For me, it's yes, I need to have a sustainable business.
Survive and live and make money, yeah, like anybody else. Sure. So yeah, but yeah, man. Listen, I'm totally with what you're doing. I'd see that if there was somebody who was super broke who came to you, was like, I'm broke and I'm homeless on the street. I don't know why. Quantum heal me. You'd be like, yo, dude, I'm going to take you off to the side. We can hang out for a minute. I'm going to try and do my best to give you some direction, and then maybe you can come back to me in 2 or 3 months. I feel like you're that person anyways. So it's not like, and I think that just by doing this idea of what's called quantum healing, it's almost kind of necessary for you to find someone like this in your life, because it's part of what the idea of the connectedness is, the idea of that we are all one, that we are all in this thing together in some way, shape, or form. I myself have been, over the last, I think, like week and a half that I've been back here, or whatever amount of time. It's only been a couple of days, I think. Yeah, 28, 29, 30, 31, 6 days. I've been back 6 days. So in this 1 week that I've been back, I've been having these very weird kind of like, it's hard to explain these. It's a moment where the information that's wavelength coming through is bouncing off of another wavelength of information that's coming through, and you're aware of the two wavelengths and seeing it happen in front of you, and you're like, oh, like it was almost slow motion for me. Like I was like, oh, this is so dope. You don't see it, but I'm totally seeing it right now. And the other person was looking at me like, what are you talking about? And I was like, bro, like movement of time and space and energy and your thoughts and my thoughts and that person and this person and all of us, and things are happening and we're floating in it, bro. We're floating in it, man. And he's just like, okay, buddy. You know, and he's a cool guy, don't get me wrong. That guy gets it and he's totally in it. But when I was there in my moment of having it, he wasn't in the moment. But that's what made my moment even so much more like special for me, because it was like, oh, you don't, like, man, I want you to look in my eyes right now, because when we're dead, I want you to remember this moment right now, because it's going to be so cool when we're dead. Only when we're dead will this moment that I'm having right now be like super fucking snap your fingers, bitch. You know, like a jazz song. You know what I mean? I'm not even kidding. Like in the middle of a fucking performance piece, the jazz player is like, and you're like, oh, that was good. Oh, that was a good piece, you know? And it's like, yeah, man, I'll listen to that song again just for that moment. You know what I mean? Even if it was just that little tiny moment of realization of the quantum of it all.
Yeah.
Oh man, how great! Because okay, so let me get a little more in depth. I was having this thing where I was in Cancun. I was there for like 20 something days, and while I'm there, and I get back, my friend says to me, "Oh, this one person says you didn't call him and talk to him about Cancun," and I was like, "Ah, no." So I go, he's a good friend of mine, you know, I've known him for years. So I call him, we talk on the phone, and we have this whole jam out that has nothing to do with Cancun at all. It has to do with more about his art and about his like growth as an artist. And it was just this really dope conversation. But I was more amazed at the back end of how these people are kind of floating luminaries, if you will, within my life that are all bouncing off of each other. These kind of almost as if you're like spatial soccer, like a weird 3-dimensional. I'm like kicking, up here, and it's like it's floating upwards to somebody else who's like catching it like the goalie, and he's all the way up here, and then he's like, yeah, fuck it, and then he throws it, into a totally opposite direction of like some kind of weird Merkaba playing field kind of thing. You know what I mean, right? And it's like, yeah, but that's like life, by the way. and then there was this other thing. So just to give you a couple of these things that I've had recently, there's this thing called Your Line. It's really trippy, but it's very much like the Matrix. This is really weird, but this is a dream that I had in a DMT state. And it goes like, we choose to enter the H.R. Geiger looking machine, which then kind of puts us into this thing. And then when the person pushes the button, you like get disattached very much in like Jap anime style, like and you fall to the ground. But as you fall to the ground and you come to your realization, you start to like freak out at how good the ride was.
Yeah.
And you keep saying over and over again to the people who are walking by you, who are in anticipation of about to get onto the ride, and you're like, oh my God, you have no idea how good. Oh my God, it was so good. Go. No, go. No. Go. And I know that sounds really silly and very stupid and very whatever, but I mean, very much like you're going to Six Flags as a 10-year-old kid, and it's the big roller coaster, and you're hearing the noises, and you're frightened by this experience that you're about to be involved in, and you haven't even done it yet.
Yeah.
So that's one portion of it. And then the experience is this roller coaster that you have no control over, that's going to make you go up and down in this way and that way, depending upon how you ride it, whether you enjoy it or whether you don't, and you're freaking out the whole time. And at the end of it, those who knew how to ride it had a great time. Those who didn't know how to ride it usually have a pretty good time. And those who were scared at the end aren't as scared as they were the first time. And then you have this other process of getting off and going, oh my God, it was so good. I really liked it. I know, me too. Let's go again. I'll go wait in line for an hour. Me too. Okay. And it's so funny how that process, or the process of doing almost anything that seems extreme in this life, is really not that extreme, first of all, is something that almost anybody can do if they just take the time to take the time.
True.
And but it leads to what is a person like yourself, which is, sure, you can go jump off of a cliff with a parachute on your back and just go and hope that you understand how to pull the cords and ups and downs and how to land without breaking a leg. Or you can go to somebody like yourself that says, hey, you feel like you're lost, you don't know how to jump, but you really want to jump, you want to be free. Let me show you the way. And so, I mean, am I wrong? Is that not what you said at the beginning of the whole thing? Like, you are a transformational coach. You help people transform into the quote unquote sports figure or skydiver that they want to be in life.
Yeah, definitely. Like, we have so much potential that we are not even aware of that's possible. And like, few years ago, before I discovered quantum healing, I didn't know that what I'm doing now could be even possible as a thing. And yes, the more I was exploring the potential of human abilities, the more I was doing the impossible. And my mission is to explore all that and lead by example, guide people through different experiences to tap into their deep connection, the spiritual connection. And I mean, I'm here to say that you can download information from your future self and know it now internally. You can create the healthy version of you and integrate, and your health will improve. We are that capable, we're so powerful, and I want everybody to understand and find a way to believe that. But find a way through experience, not just theory or reading the books. I'm guiding people through experience to really step into their fullest potential.
Yeah. We have a comment here from Brandy. She says, Paul, you should let Agne do the IMAP technique with you live so people can see how she does this. That's funny that you mentioned that, Brandy. Wink, wink. Because I asked her if she would do this with me. So what I will do is I will now become your passenger upon this trip. I'm going to just put you on screen, unless you need to see me.
Yes, I do.
Okay.
And everybody
so then
needs
we'll leave it
to
like this. Yeah, and I'm going to get even closer to the screen here, so you can see any eye movements or checks that you need to see, and the VAC system that you are using. So I will sit nice and I will do this correctly here for you. So you can see me. I hope that this is good. Is this good?
Yeah, it's good.
Okay.
So I think this will be just a quite short demonstration of how our brain is functioning. Quantum healing is a combination of science, scientific knowledge, and spirituality. So this part is more technical and science-based experience. I want you to just allow your eyes to move, and you don't need to do anything or really. Okay, there are two ways to do it. Let me ask you specific questions. I don't need to know the answer. I just need to observe your eyes. And if you are familiar with NLP, you know what my eye map is and how it looks like normally, right? So I want to ask if you remember the house you grew up in the childhood. Can you remember the color of the roof? Can you like focus on that color? You're closing your eyes. Okay. All right. Can you remember the specific color of the first car that you were driving yourself?
For sure.
You are not moving your eyes. All right.
Sorry. But I mean, it would be up here. It would be up here, by the way. It'd be like ting ting for me. Like I feel where you're asking, so I'll do that for you. Sorry. It's been so many years ago. Yeah. Go ahead.
Can you think of the last phone call you had with somebody? The phone conversation.
Yes. Just got it. Yeah. So yes. Whatever.
Can you remember the voice tone of the person? All right. Can you remember the specific words they said at the end of the conversation?
Yep. Took a second.
Can you remember what you said to end the call? All right. How do you ask yourself questions? Yeah.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah.
A little deep, like it depends, right? So
So
I
let
go
me
here, but I
kind
also
of
go there.
describe what I'm doing at the same time.
No, you don't have to wait. Well, we can wait. You can do your
All right.
first thing and
So,
we'll go to the thing on.
all right. Um, what do you say to yourself when you do really well? And what do you say to yourself when you make a mistake?
Mm-hmm.
All right. How do you feel when you come out of the meditation? All right. How All right. How does it feel to be happy?
Mm-hmm.
All right. How does it feel to be sad? Mhm. Um, all right. Now, funny question, which I need to answer to. Have you ever been inside of the submarine? Have you been in submarine? Ah, too bad. Okay, let's try. Maybe spaceship you haven't been in? No? Okay. So can you imagine the sound when you're inside of the submarine? Okay.
I
Would it
understand.
sound
Yeah, I know what you're getting at. But like
I,
inside the submarine, what it would sound like if somebody made noise outside of it,
yeah,
or
we
just
can go with
in general, the inside sounds of being inside of
yeah,
the
when you're
spaceship in space.
right,
But I
exactly. The
imagine what
sound
that's
when
like.
you're
Okay, yeah, that's a little harder. Sure. Okay, I get it. Um, I could try and imagine it. Sure.
Mhm. Would it sound different when that spaceship is in space?
Oh yeah. I was in space when I did it. So uh,
Okay. I'm playing with things here. Right.
and
And so, okay, the next step. Can you imagine future cars? How will they look like 20 years from now?
Mhm.
Would they be flying?
Oh,
Um, yeah. Do you have any kind of future vision of a dream house, maybe? That's your thing?
it's weird. I wouldn't have one
Okay. Can you just
I,
like scroll through
if I
all of
had
them
just
and
one.
focus
Yeah.
on one? Mhm.
You want me to just focus on one? Okay, I'm gonna
Yeah,
make a really cool one. Hold
make
on.
it
Okay,
cool.
I got it. I got it. Yeah, it's really cool. I got it. Got it. Go ahead. Super cool, actually. But go
All
ahead.
right. Yeah. So the point of this, I'm getting into a kind of processing system, right? And I would be making a sketch anytime I ask the question where your eyes are moving. And some elements are not in the right place as should be for normally organized IMAP. All right, that's typical for everybody. Like we have some distortions in our some blockages, right? And if somebody has experienced some let's say physical trauma in the past, the brain rewires itself to block that area, and so the person might not be connected to their feelings, sensations, and emotions, for example. That IMAP shows those elements, and then we use the resources from the previous session to heal the neural pathways in the brain, to clear the blockages, and to release those resistances, to reorganize your IMAP and to make your brain function more effective and more efficient.
Right. That makes sense.
So that's the technical element of this. I don't think I don't have time to guide you through the whole session here. So maybe we can do something fun.
I mean, we can if you want. I don't care, but we could do it also on some other time.
Right.
So, okay, so this is what somebody would go through with you at the beginning. They basically kind of go through these questions, and without them knowing, you're reacting and interacting with where they are connecting in their face, in their actions, how they're responding to everything, the moments of pause, all of those things are your techniques to get a certain kind of reaction, interaction within themselves, feelings within themselves, so that you can get a quote unquote IMAP or a mind map of how this person interacts with their own selves. And then you're getting a frame. If we're going for neuro-linguistic programming ideology, you're going for the frame that they're working with on a quantum realm.
Yeah.
And in that space, now you're starting to kind of take their frame and kind of do this a little bit, maybe straighten it out a little bit, maybe a little bit, and then we're almost there, buddy. We're almost there, and click. And then when you let go, they go, oh, this is what it's like to have like a clear feeling and seeing and being of me instead of this. I have to be this, or I'm wearing this mask because of this feeling of blah 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 blah, or whatever.
Yeah.
What a beautiful process. What a beautiful process. And it can work for anybody because it's yeah. I think that my only trepidation here, right, would be the way that it's being called, the quantum healing thing. It's like people don't even know what quantum is, except for people who watch Marvel, and then even they don't get it.
I understand. Yes.
You know what I mean? So I mean, and that's cool. Listen, call it quantum healing and call yourself the goddess of whatever you want. I want it to work. That's all I know. So I want to. You know what I would like to do? Maybe we can talk about this later, like you said. But I would love to go through the entire process and then have you back on like 30, 60, 90 days after after starting with you, and then showing the progressive growth that comes from it when you come from a place of like openness to it, and like I'm not saying it is or it isn't real, but I'm willing to accept what's going on. Let's move forward, and then just to see that process happen. I would love to do that and have you on a couple times, and also see how your classes are going and how you're building your thing and the whole thing. I think everybody else who would, I think everybody who else is watching might actually enjoy that as well. But let's do this. We're at about an hour and 10 minutes in. I know you said you had a lot of stuff to do. It's already very late where you are. So thank you, first of all, for even coming on and being on. And, it's only 10 o'clock in the morning or 11 o'clock in the morning for me. I think it's late 7 o'clock at night for you or something to that effect. So thank you for coming here and being on and sharing your time with me. You have a class that's happening soon, so please, if you would not mind, I'll kick myself off. You promote it like crazy, and let me.
All right. So tomorrow I'm running a workshop, very hands-on workshop, an experience really. It's focused on. It's designed for coaches and healers, really, for light workers. Because that's who I work with mostly. But it works for everybody. It can support you in so many ways. The name of it is Quantum Business Activation and What is Blocking My Abundance. I will talk about beliefs that we have about money, about business, about success in life, and why are we still experiencing blockages and resistances, and what is blocking that abundance. And I will teach you how to become aware of your limiting beliefs, how to clarify those details, and also in the session we will shift one of the beliefs. Really, the experience happens in a couple of minutes, and often people don't even remember the original limiting belief. So the transformation is at the quantum level, meaning bypassing the physical realm, structure, time, and space. Yeah, if you are interested, I invite you to join me tomorrow at noon Eastern time. If you sign up through the link, probably Paul will share the link, and you will get the information for the Zoom call and all the details there.
Moose says you should go. Moose says you should go, yes? Moose tells everybody to go to your class tomorrow. He wants to take the class tomorrow as well. Is that right, Moose? You want to take the class? Yes?
Yeah, and as well, if anybody is just curious to know more, reach out directly. There's my social media link as well. Send me a message on Facebook Messenger, and let's chat. Let's see how quantum healing can change your world.
100%. I'm super stoked, and I'm very thankful once again that you came on today. Thank you so much for being here. For anybody who's out there, please take the information, grab it, go see it, go do this. If you don't catch this and it's later on, there's a link in the description down below to get in touch with Agne. So there's no reason that you shouldn't. And with that, my friends, let's say goodbye to Agne. Thank you, Agne, once again for being here.
Thanks, everybody. Bye.
We'll see you soon. All right. Oh my God. I don't know what it was or what it is or how it came to be or why this is the way it is. But my friends, every episode I bring to you somebody interesting. I bring to you somebody doing something cool. I bring to you, it doesn't like, listen, you can go see your other podcasts wherever you want, scoopity poops. But you're not going to find one that's as dope as this one that has the coolest, like, friendliest weirdos in the world that are doing awesome, cool stuff like Agne. Bro, seriously, go see her class tomorrow. Let me do my outro. It goes something like, oh, hey, if you want to do StreamYard, there's a link in the description down below to do StreamYard. You can create your own StreamYard. Use my link. I get paid. You get paid. We all get paid. Everybody's happy. Number two, go to the 5-day, 5-night Cancun thing, $269. Pay your taxes and resort fees. All that good stuff. Money, everybody happy. This thing gets to continue, and I get to keep making videos and shows and travel to Cancun and all the fun stuff that's been happening. Hello, wink, wink. Let's keep it going. And with that, my friends, please go out of the world, do something nice for somebody else. And if you can't do something nice for yourself, it does start with you. Number two, don't get caught up in all the crazy stuff in this world, because if you do, then you end up a little poopy snoops, and that's not good for you or me or anybody else. So please, let's not go there. And number three, if you would not mind, please, I'm asking you and begging you, please like, share, subscribe, send this out to somebody who needs to see it. And with that, my friends, I love you so very, 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 very much. And I will see you all right there on the other side. Have a beautiful day, my friends. I love you. I wish you well. I wish you nothing but goodness in your house. And I will see you later.